Okay, this week our project is fairly simple, and it is the introduction to our February series, which is going to be centered around Black history and or Valentine's Day. We may put some Valentine's Day stuff in there, but I like to do crochet Black history inspired stuff during the month of February. So for materials, what we're going to need is our handy dandy crochet hook, which is a 3.5. You don't necessarily need the stitch marker. I'm gonna use it in the video just for my newbies out there who kind of still need it and rely on it, but you don't necessarily need it this time around. We need some scissors. We will need I laugh because later in the video I'm gonna call these things ear holders, and because I don't know what they're called. Drop a comment. I'm sure my mom will correct me because she watches all my videos. I love you, Mom. But you need two of these guys. I don't know what they're called. Earring holders. But you need two of those. You will need yarn. So again, this is a Black history inspired project. So actually you don't need black. I was gonna use black and I didn't. We need red. We need this yellow gold color. Move, black. And we need green. This is a scrap yarn project for me. I use a lot of these colors, so I had these in my bin. Yeah, I think is that it? I think that's it. If you are going to block this guy out, and I have instructions for that at the end of the video, you will need a cork board, you will need wax paper, you will need quilting pins, and you will need faultless starch. I do not show you how to stiffen your project in this video, but if you're interested, you can travel back to my sunflower video, not the keychain, the regular sunflower video, and that will show you how to block your project out and stiffen it. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so our earrings have 3 parts. We are going to start with the smallest part, which is our yellow. And to start this off, what we're going to do is we are going to do a magic circle. And in that magic circle, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mean, I'm not using a stitch marker. You can, but you know, I will just for the sake of the tutorial. But I'm going to join my last stitch to my first stitch first, and I want to chain 2, and then I'll put my stitch marker. I wouldn't use a stitch marker if it was just me doing this by myself, but just again for the sake of the tutorial, I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so for row number 2, we're gonna do double crochets increases in each stitch. So 2 double crochets in each stitch. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and at the end you should have 12 double crochets. So go ahead and do that all the way around. Okay, so I've gone ahead and did my double crochet increases all the way around. I've joined my first stitch to my last stitch, and I am going to chain 1. I can put my stitch marker there, and I'm going to do single crochet increases all the way around now. So we did double crochet increases. Now we're going to do single crochet increases. So that's just 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and do that all the way around. All right, so I went ahead and did my single crochet increases, and I've joined my first stitch to my last stitch, and I just need to fasten off now. Leave a decent tail. This is not for sewing, but this for the yellow, the tail is going to be for attaching the earring loop that goes into your ear. So this piece is actually done, and I can snip off this magic circle tail. this piece is done. This is the first piece in our earring. So we can put that aside and we can pick up our second piece. So the second and the third piece is actually the same pattern. So just different colors. So the next color in my particular pattern on my earrings is going to be green. So I'm going to pull out my green yarn. And again, this is going to be the same for green and red. So I'll show you green and then I'll do some movie magic to show you what my red looks like. So for green, we are going to do a magic circle. In the magic circle, we're going to do 6 single crochets. That was 3 for me. 4, 5, 6. Muffin found the mirror and she's looking at herself. Okay, so we are going to join the first to the last with the slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 2. Place our stitch marker. This is essentially the same couple of rows as the yellow. Okay, so if it looks familiar, you're not tripping. So this one is going to be our double crochet increases, and remember there's 12 of these. 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So that was 2 for me, and that was another 2. You should end up with 12. So go ahead and do that and meet me back. All right, I've done my double crochet increases. I've joined my first stitch to my last stitch. I am going to chain another 2. 1, 2. This time around, we're going to do a double crochet and then an increase. So I'll show you that one more time. So you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. In the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet increase, which is 2 double crochets in the same stitch. You're going to do that all the way around. All right, I've done my row number trace, and I have joined my first double crochet to my last double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 this time, and then place my stitch marker. For the final row, row number 4, we're going to do single crochet increases. So that's going to be single crochet increases all the way around, just like that. That just means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. All right, and this is what I'm looking like after I finish my row number 4. I'm going to cut this, leaving a long tail, and this is going to help us to sew our pieces together, particularly our yellow to our green. So that's what that one's looking like. It is a bit bigger than our yellow, and that's done on purpose because we're going to stack them like that. So the red is the same size as the green, and that's the third piece in our earring. So go ahead and do that. I'll do a speed crochet so you can kind of see me making it, but it won't be me talking just because it's literally the same as the green. So let us give a hand and get into it. All right, so I am done with all of my pieces. So these are the 3 pieces that we're gonna need. So the next step is to put all these together. To put these guys together, what I'm gonna do is actually start with the green and the yellow. And what I'm gonna do is take the long tail from the green. I'm gonna thread that through my yarn needle. I'm gonna flip this guy over. And what I'm gonna do is take my yellow, flip that over as well, and place the yellow underneath the green with this little tail, the place where we fastened off on the edge. I got a little hair right there. On the edge, and the last row of the green as close to that magic circle as you can. I don't know if you can see that. So I got the edge of this green as close to the magic circle. Magic circle's right there for me. And I put the fasten off on the edge of my yellow. The reason you want to do it, and you have to hold this in place. I don't think pins is going to help us this time. But the reason we want to do that is because we're going to use this tail to sew to the back of our yellow. You want to do this in such a way that you cannot see the green coming through that yellow at all. And so what I'm doing is picking up a stitch in the green, and I'm going into the back of my yellow. It doesn't really matter which stitches as long as you just can't see them. See that? How I just put up a couple in the back. The way you can tell if your thread is gonna show is my yarn needle is red. If I flip this over and I can see red, which I can a little bit, that means that your yarn is gonna show through. So maybe I wanna pick up a different stitch here. So maybe just that one. And you see how I can't see the red now? And so that means when I pull my thread, you're not gonna be able to see it. This is just a little trick I learned along the way. So I'm gonna go back, pick up a green, go back into the green, and pick up yellow in the back. And just periodically check in if you can see that needle. And I'm just gonna do this all the way to the end. Okay, so I'm at the end of mine, and this is what the front side looks like. Just like that. You see how you can't see any of that green. That's exactly what we want. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go into my green, making sure it looks neat on the other side, and I'm gonna do a little knot to hold this guy in place. Just like that. And I'm just gonna weave it in. I'm gonna go this way. Just weave it into our work. And then you're done. Okay, so this is what the first two pieces look like. That's what the back side looks like for me. And you can tell that I haven't blocked this out. I haven't stiffened this, and you can see that because it's starting to bow on me a little bit. If you want to stiffen this, I do have a video. It was with my sunflower, the sunflower, regular sunflowers. And you can use just regular fabric starch. Put this guy on a cork board, put some pins to hold it in place, spray some starch, and lay it in the sun. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna stiffen it a little bit. I didn't do that for mine, but if you want your earrings to be stiff so that it doesn't fold and hold its shape like that, you can stiffen it and it'll stay firm. And I actually have a pair. I'll show you later when we're done with this. I'll show you what my other pair looks like. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did with the green and the yellow for the red and the green. And what I mean is we are gonna thread our needle. We're gonna turn our red around. I actually have my magic circle tail still there. So we're gonna turn our red around. We're gonna take this piece that we just did, turn that around, and do the same thing we did with the green. So we're gonna make sure that fasten off is on the edge of the green, and we're gonna put this red as close to the magic circle as we can get. It doesn't really have to be that close if that's not the look you're going for, but I wanted mine to overlap this way. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the green, which is to pick up, with the green and the yellow. We're gonna pick up a stitch on the green, pick up a stitch on the red, and just make sure that you can't see the red coming through the green. So go ahead and do that, and I will measure back here. All right, so this is what I'm looking like so far with all three of my pieces put together. The only thing we need to do next is to grab our earring connector. I don't know what these things are called. We're gonna call it an earring connector right now. So I have my connector, and I'm gonna grab my other yarn needle because this hole is kind of small. My regular yarn needle won't fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread this guy, which is sort of annoying because the hole is so small. Can I get in there? There we go. And what I want to do is, this one is pretty tricky because this thing looks like it's in the center, which it actually is in the center. But when you connect your earring connector, it sometimes can shift. So my advice is to make sure that your earring connector is facing, you see how the loop is this way now? I'm gonna turn it towards my table because when you put your earring on, you want your earring to be facing out, which means that you want it to go into your ear this way. So you want to sew it that way. So what we want to do is to make sure we're holding our connector that way. We're gonna put our yarn in from the left, and then we're going to make sure we connect it so that it stays in place, so that when it's connected it's like that. And just be really mindful because this thing will turn on you in a second. So 2 things you got to be careful here: make sure it's in the center and make sure it's pointing the right direction. And if it sounds like I speak from experience, it's because I am. I have put this thing on backwards so many times, and it's annoying to take off because we used our tail from our last row to sort of secure. You see how, like, when I pulled it, it turned? So you want to make sure that you're keeping it straight. And I just do a couple of passes in just to make sure, like, this thing doesn't fall out your ear while you're wearing it, because that's not a good look. And so once I'm done, I'm just gonna go in here again, making sure it stays straight, making sure that's in the center. I think that's good. And I'm gonna knot this guy. Just knot it maybe a couple of times. Y'all know me, I like to be super, super, super extra because I don't want my work falling apart. Okay, and then I'm just gonna weave this guy in so that it doesn't come undone. And that's it. There we have it. Okay, so I stopped myself a little bit early in the video when I was talking about blocking, but let me just go through the this is what we have, yay moment. So these are our earrings, and you can see I keep adjusting mine. I keep flattening them out because these are not blocked out, they're not stiffened, and so literally they will keep their shape. If I'm wearing these and I happen to lay down or turn my head the wrong way, they're gonna keep their shape and they're gonna look like this on my ear. I don't know yet if I'm gonna block these out or not, or if that's the look I'm going for. I have no idea yet. But if you want to stiffen these, what you're gonna do is get you a cork board or any type of board. I use a cork board just because that's what I have on hand. I get wax paper, put it on top of the cork board, and I'm gonna take my quilting pins and pin these guys to the board. Okay, hopefully you're with me so far. Once you have these pinned to the board that has the wax paper in between, you're just gonna spray it with some fabric stiffener, or some, if you're like me, y'all know I'm frugal. I don't like going to the store for nothing if I don't have to. I have faultless starch that we use for our clothes. So I just spray that very generously. It will be white initially, but the fabric from the yarn will soak that starch up. Then what you want to do is put this in a sunny place, preferably outside. If it's not sunny, I know it's snowing in a lot of places right now, put it aside, let it sit. If it's in the sun, a couple hours. If it's not in the sun, it may take as much as overnight. Then what you're gonna do, turn it over and repeat the process. Pin it, spray it, leave it. When it's done, I have a pair that I made a while ago. It's not the same pattern, but these are a pair that I made a long time ago. You see how like it doesn't really hold its shape, whereas this one, when I flick it, it holds it. I mean, it holds its shape. This one, not so much. It bounces right back. So if that's the look you're going for, this has been blocked out. This has been stiffened. It's still flexible to where like I can bend it. It just doesn't hold a shape. Okay, so that's an option in terms of what you can do with this pattern. Usually I tell you can change the colors. This is inspired by Black History Month, so I mean, I would prefer if the color didn't change too much, especially, you know, in the month of February. But I mean, it is an option. You could change the colors if we're out. I don't even want to say outside of February, because every month to me is Black History Month, and I think these colors are cute. But it's your option. You definitely can change the colors. Another cool option, two options actually, you can change the size of the shapes. So I have one, which is the yellow, that's smaller than the other two, which is the green and the red. You could, one, make them all the same size, which is the small size, or you could make them all the same size, which is that larger size. That might be actually kind of cute. So yeah, you can do a lot with this pattern. Hopefully it was something that was interesting to you. Hopefully it's a good segue to the Black History / Valentine's Day stuff that we're doing this month. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you know when I drop new content, which is every single Monday. Literally, rain, sleet, snow, shine, vacation, sick, not sick, I drop a new piece of content every single Monday, and I thank you so much for engaging with that. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. Don't forget to stay safe, crochet some cool stuff, and I'll see you next week, y'all.